Hi, beautiful beings of light. This is Yana, and welcome to my YouTube channel in the month of May of 2022. And yeah, I'm back online. I still have a little bit of congestion because somebody didn't tell me that I was around an individual, right? New Yorkers, or one of them was fully vaccinated and had viral infection, and I was there the whole day. And just kind of all this entertainment, beach and pool and passing food, and also food that I usually don't eat. And now I know that I have to really, again, set my boundaries very well with each and every individual as far as food goes, because I had, horrible congestion. And but things are doing much better, so all is good. I'm back online, and yeah, very, very, interesting, again, dynamics happening within myself and even around, right? Talking to people, see their structure, see their programming, their kind of realities. Has to do also with a Western medicine, because I know that lots of that inflammation and I had a mucus stuff was coming from me eating dairy, and the body of course rejects that. And me also being Taurus, sign Taurus, we always our throat is being affected, right? Our sinuses are being affected. That's the sign that actually correlates, to these bodily parts. And so if there's an indigestion and I'm eating something I'm not supposed to, right, and the body rejects that, I immediately get symptoms. And that individual is telling me, no, it's not from food, that you got the mucus and the infection and so on. You need to take antibiotics. And I'm like, excuse me, I'm fasting. So of course I was fasting, drinking distilled water, because I know that what works for me, guys. So again, my videos only take what resonates with you. This is my lifestyle, right? This is my structure, this is my operational system, this is what works for me. Okay, I have yoga and Ayurveda background, also being born in Eastern Europe, okay, with a different mentality, different upbringing. Okay, actually very thankful, grateful where I grew up, even though interesting dynamics, in my family, right? My dad, Anunnaki, and just a very angry individual, right? Because his upbringing was not happy, right? His mother, my grandma, right, emotionally detached, right? And she, of course, she didn't have a dad. That's what happens, right, after World War I. And she was raised by her aunt. So even her mom didn't want to have nothing to do with her, because, the child was not made out of wedlock. So all these dogma, all these restrictions, right, just being kind of brought up. That's why I even had to leave my family, because I don't identify with you guys. When I was in Prague, right, I was only 20, and I started meeting people that they study or they understand Ayurveda. So that it's been for me a long journey. Okay, the Eastern medicine, holistic medicine, right? Being close to nature, and being a vegetarian, and now I have to be vegan, strictly vegan. And so we'll continue next week, next Monday, with Ayurveda. We'll tackle the doshas. We'll go over the tridosha structure, okay, the vata, pitta, and kapha, all these characteristics, talk about the prakriti. And so I'm really very passionate about the food and how it does affect your health and your well-being. And it's it's people don't know how to eat and what to eat, right? And then of course they have all kinds of symptoms as well, sooner or later, right? Then take the antibiotics, and the body's trying to like readjust, eat something else, or change your habits, right? But again, with the antibiotics, all this mutation happening, right? With the GMO, also all the mutation in your DNA, and then people get out of touch with their true divine essence, who they truly are, right? And that's what the cabal wants, of course, right? The metaverse, and the computers, and just kind of being lost in this 3D matrix. So people don't ascend, and this is we are here, we're the guardians of the galactics. That's why even I'm coming up with a project, and I know people are laughing at it, all these doubt, and that what I'm creating makes zero common sense, and I'm not going to succeed, and all these kind of things. Well, we'll see how everything goes. I'm guided by our star command, okay? And why the military, trying to introduce yoga there, right? Yoga, and my kundalini, right? The energy, and there was some horrible backlash going on, and then all these crazy satanic recruitments, whether in the astral plane or in the physical plane, and making marine out of me, and even super soldier out of me, and then being initiated into the Mason 33rd order. And so I know the cabal structure, right? Plus I have their DNA, but I am not controlled, determined by DNA. I am consciousness, okay? So it doesn't mean I have the Illuminati's DNA, that now I'm going to be, satanist, and involved in child sex trafficking and pornography, and nefarious activities, okay? This is not happening, and I'm a strong individual, right? Even though I'm very tiny, I have a female body, and I think that's what kind of maybe blinds those certain individuals, right? Males, men, that XY chromosome phenomena, okay? That I am a piece of cake, and you can do anything you want with me, and so on. They don't understand the energies, the spirit, the sacred geometry. Plus I'm guided by the galactic command, Ashtar command, and so on, and by ascended masters, okay? Like even Jwal Kul, right? The Tibetan. So, and that's the thing. People need to start seeing energies. People need to start understanding energies, okay? And the interconnectedness with all that is. We cannot stay so blinded and ignorant and arrogant, and just kind of what the mind control is telling you, or how you people are being mind controlled. All this dogma, all this drama, all this trauma. People have pain body, shadow body. Please work on yourself. Look at the composure that Kathy O'Brien takes when she talks about her story, right? Look what she went through, and look what she became. How professionally she talks about her stories, right? I mean, the true stories. Being a sex slave in White House, right? We need to learn how to communicate with each other, and build those communities, because even though Florida, New York, Florida, contacting people, even when I was in Sedona, let's even do videos together, I was always rejected, not accepted. And whatever the agenda is, it is what it is. Then I continue, here, you kind of by myself in a way, physically, but I know I'm being guided, I'm being supported, and now the sunshine, and the galactic beings, and cosmic angels, I know they're all around me, helping me, right? Because we're bringing the cosmic energies here to this planet that is ascending, and I want Mother Earth to be a jewel again. The other thing is here, I'm not here, you know, like this is not a dating site, okay? I mean, you know, guys have interest and whatever that is. My body work is all about understanding yourself, healing yourself, right? And when you go on my website, yanakalai.com, negative ego transformation, self-mastery, self-realization, we have the Galactic Codex, okay? Divine justice, universal laws, you know, Christosophia consciousness, right? And freedom, because we are entering the new golden age. Do you have a Saint Germain here? New golden age, Saint Germain here, the leader of the seven ray. That's the violet flame, right? Of freedom, of forgiveness, of mercy, right? Of joy, of liberation, and so on. So this is where I am coming from, guys, and I've been talking about it for, you know, a couple of years, and so on, reiterating, and I love it because I'm building the momentum, just like Marina Jacobi, and she already has a platform, and you know, understanding the quantum structure, right? I mean, what she talks about, I can see it, how we need to constantly you know, polarize ourselves positively, right? So we can overcome the negative structure. And with me, you know, once you feel the light quotient is rising, right, you're in the divine neutrality, 0 point balance, you're compassionate witness. Compassionate witness, you're the column of light shining bright. You're the divine presence here on this planet and doing God's work, God's will. Not my will, by done be done, right? And so we're being tested. Anybody who's got the ego, the mind control, remember those two things are interconnected, right? So when there's the ego trigger, pain body, and so on, register it, write it down. PTSD, time to heal, you know, Kathy O'Brien, because we have to cleanse ourselves, we have to get rid of that shadow, so, you know, we can correct all these things, because we've been doing with the shadow government, with the shadow military, right? With the shadow military, all the abuse of power and authority, unfathomable, beyond any description. So that's why, guys, thank you for listening to me. I just started with food, right? I guess my family, and here we go now, project for the military. So I go over my notes. It has to do why I am doing the project for the military and for the elite, you know, because those souls, they're my soul siblings, you know. I retrieve them from the phantom matrix, right, from all the abuse and violence. And then I just go quickly over those notes from Ricardo Delgado, La Quinta Columna, because he created video. It was a 10 minutes video, but guys, everything what Lisa Renee has been talking about, the, you know, being hooked to the AI, you know, the graphene oxide now, you know, the characteristics and what it does, you know, talking about this, right? That's the AI, that's a nano AI hybrid kind of technology, bioweapons. And now we have a proof, right? Because somebody here finally understands the field of neuroscience and artificial intelligence. And remember, we have two types of artificial intelligence. Like now we have two consciousness, and you see the bifurcation of consciousness, and the gap is getting bigger and bigger, right? Who is choosing the one world order or whatever that is, and wearing this and having more of this, and, you know, there's boot shots and, you know, all this propaganda. That's the downward spiral. But then we have artificial intelligence, organic, it's connected, right? Or, you know, the other consciousness is ascension. Like we have also AI, ascension, AI helping us with the quantum financial system, right? You know, bring everything into divine perspectives, right? That whether the free energy, right? People having an access to nature, natural access to water, to food, you know, having your home, house, shelter. I mean, that should be automatic. Here you have to pay taxes, you have to work hard, right? You have to earn burn it and so on, and then you get some kind of a house maybe that is on a landfill, right, with all this crazy electricity around that is messing up with your aura, your energy field. Okay, and then you get cancer. So what in the world is that all about, right? The cabal, the controlling groups, right, that they're also controlled by those negative aliens. They're a negative alien agenda, guys. I've been talking about it for so long, and I can't understand, talking to certain individuals, how they are still thinking. And it's a reflection of their consciousness. So what you see is actually you, right? And how you're interpreting what I am speaking, right? It becomes your reality. It forms your structure, that becomes your story. That's who you are, right? So that's why when all these projections, and all this blaming and judging and shouting and screaming at each other, instead of, hey, I'm perceiving it this way, this is what is happening in my body, this is what happens, right? Register it. So it means be cautious, like self-aware, be self-detective, self-study. For me, like I'm saying, my knowledge, guys, it's all about you understanding yourself. Me here speaking to you how I feel, myself, or where I'm coming from. This is all inspirational, okay? All inspirational. Also, as far as the horoscope and also who I am, what I represent, okay, so the Uranus is in Taurus, right? That Taurus sign is in 8th house. Also, as for relationship, whether it's the 7th house, I have Chiron and Jupiter both in Aries, right? I am revolutionary. I am pioneer. It has to do with healing and expansion of consciousness. And Aries also stubborn and ego and strong personality. So somebody changing me, right? And telling me what to do. People have to learn how to inspire each other. It simply doesn't work. It doesn't work, okay? And so I'm sorry, I'm a little bit passionate today, but just only take what resonates with you guys. We are watching our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because we are the co-creators with the divine, right? Very important, right? What we are putting out there, right? That's our words, and also our thoughts and our feelings and emotions, and then our deeds and actions, right? That's what then creates that structure, that hologram that we then build upon, or that's what is then being reflected back to us, right? The law of cause and effect, what goes around comes around. Again, credo for the New Earth jurisdiction, you can find it there, or on my website, yanakalai.com, or study 13 principles of natural laws, Lisa Renee, energetic synthesis. The other thing, because I'm a spiritual warrior, right? On my website also, under contact, you find the unity vow. Of course, Lisa Renee, she's got the entire version, right? You got the 12D shielding. You got the decree of sovereignty, decree of forgiveness. On page services, you can read the contract revocation. It used to be Andrew Bartitz back then, Galactic historian, 2014. I would be reading soul contract revocation, whether that was the entertainment industry, media, the banking, the military, the family, how you're pretty much dissolving these contracts you came with, right? I guess then you didn't know that, all these things, that pretty much why they're happening to you, because, I signed too many contracts, so we also with the negative ones, so because they're all included in the entire structure. We cannot now, project for the military, vote of veterans, really those who were abused and violated, those delicate, beautiful souls and so on. We have to deal with the entire structure, right? With the military cabal controlled by the Orion group, and the the gray collectives, or the Zetas of the negative faction, right? So I am dealing with all these ETs. I am dealing with all these aliens, right? But my line, I'm connecting to always the Arshtakomin, the Pleiadians, and so on. So, that's where I get the healing, I get the direction, I get the guidance. So, guys, if you want to be of service, if you want to be out there helping humanity, you gotta have established ET contact. Marina Jacobi says the same thing, right? She's been channeling the hybrids, I don't know, for like already a decade. So, I channel differently. For me, it's like a movie. It's like a picture. It's like a hologram. It's like a screen that is in front of me, and it's all these messages that I'm trying to then decipher as the day goes by. Okay. So everybody's got different operational systems. So honor yourself, or start learning more about yourself. How do you operate, right? I have the 5D protocol. You're asking yourself, who am I? Why did I come here to this planet? What is my mission, right? What are my gifts and talents? How can I be of service? The communion with your soul is extremely important, because we're ascending, we're transitioning, we're going to the next harmonic octave. Soul connection, consciousness expansions, harmonic octave number 2. Okay, so it's not just like the body and the electricity and what the neurons are doing, and you are just some kind of just like a walking instrument here. We are 99.9% energy. We're sound, light, frequency, vibration. So may that reverberate within you in your field, the morphogenic field that connects us with all that is. And those who are in ascension path or journey, right? The guardians, the warriors of truth and justice, right? And of transformation. I work with the violet flame, with the violet ray, also with the violet order, right? So the Holy Father. So we are doing this huge, big transformational work. And that's why invocation of the violet flame. Well, let's do it for right now. Just kind of setting the space, and then I'll go over my notes, okay? So going into our hearts, into our center. The tongue is touching the upper palate. You're focusing on your breathing. You're closing your eyes. Feel your third eye and your pineal gland. It's the antenna to the divine, to those cosmic energies. See how it's being reactivated, how it's working, how your third eye is working, your psychic abilities are working. Your spine is straight. Right? Just focus on inhalation, exhalation, breath, prana, chi, energy, flow of life. Beloved, I'm presence bright. Around me seal your tube of light. From ascended master flame, call forth now in God's own name. Let it keep my temple free from all discord sent to me. I'm calling forth wildfire to blaze and transmit all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I'm one with the wild flame. So see yourself encircled by this sacred violet flame of transformation, transmutation, of forgiveness, of mercy, of liberation, of joy. And all the cellular density, right, leaving your body is dissolving, going back to light, to source. Anything, everything, any that stands in our ascension, right? May it all go, may it all be dissolved through that violet flame. And now You just bring these energies of love, of unconditional love, Krista Sophia consciousness. That's the golden, diamond, platinum light, silver light. In all these areas that they were dense and the energy was stuck and blocked. Right? And that's how you start increasing the light quotient, right? Just this, you're just recycling the energies, right? Everything of that old programming, all conditioning, all this dogma, all this trauma, right? All this pain body, all the shadow self, right? May that leave you. Just send it to source. And then just see a sunshine, see the sun rays, the warmth of the sun, and the golden, diamond, platinum light descending upon you and embracing you, right? Just feel the embrace of Krista Sophia consciousness. So working with the wild flame, right? Chanting, I'm a being of wild fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of wild fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of wild fire. I am the purity God desires. Right? It's all in my Ascension protocol. Abhunda Bashmaya, Nitka de Shamoch, Tete Ma Kutach, Nechwe Tibiana Aikana de Bashmaya Ahbad Ah. Havlan Lach Madasun Kanan Yaumana, Washboklan Haubain Waktahin, Aikana Dafkanan Schwachen Lahayabain, Wella Tachlan Lanasuna, Ella Patan Min Bisha, Mitol de Lachem Malkuta, Wahel La Watashbuta, La Lam Almin. Amen. Aramaic prayer, right? Yahshua's true language, the ancient old Jewish Aramaic language. Right? When you start studying that language or that prayer, then you start more and more tuning into the true vibration of Yahshua, who he really was, ascended master, right? Whether it was Pleiadian or, from Andromeda, highly advanced soul, okay? Came here again, help us with the ascension process, the stellar activation back then 2,000 years ago, and so on. And of course his twin flame, Marina Magdalena, right? Mary Magdalene. She was a high priestess, high initiate again in all these teachings of esoterica, mystica, guys. That's why my videos, right? You see, this is not ordinary here. We are bringing the ancient teachings here from whether Atlantis, from Lemuria, from ancient Egypt, right? From those golden ages back then with floating cities, crystal towers, levitating cars or spaceships, spacecraft. That's why the people in the inner earth are helping us as well, right? Tell us there is a portal underneath Mount Shasta, California. So feel the interconnectedness, right? 3 Hearts meditation. You can also find it on my website, yanakalai.com, right? You're connecting to the crystal core of Mother Earth through your heart and connecting to the cosmic heart of Father, Mother, God. Yesterday we had the unity meditation with Sandra Walter, right? Building the momentum, 6 years. I mean, she's got incredible wealth of information, not only on all this meditation, but also on ascension. And to me, she's been doing it for couple of decades already. So I mean, her energy is really pristine, and what she does, it's the way she does it, again, through her operational system. Yeah, it's like again, well, it's not for everybody, but for me it's very inspirational, and I feel the flow, and I been feeling it, guys. It's like repetition with these meditations, with the positive affirmations, with the japa mantra, right? With cleansing, clearing, purification, your energy field, your auras, your chakras. Like I said, read the ingredients. What are you eating, right? So again, we'll continue with Ayurveda next Monday. So again, those who are interested, let me know. And of course, I have also things going on with Dr. Kalita, but we do things on Skype. So Zoom or Skype. So those are two platforms that I am occupying right now, and just doing, free workshops or seminars and lectures on things that that are my passion, which is yoga, Ayurveda, right, spiritualities, the Rishi sages of the Himalayan mountains, and how to work with your energy field and how to be, again, whole and complete. So here we go. We have the project for, like I said, for the military, for the also for the elite, right? Because that's part of this whole structure. That's what I've been dealing with, and now I know, because it happened to me. Those guys in the military of highly advanced souls who've been abused and violated, pretty much left with no rights, no will, right, by the shadow military cabal. Whether it's the dark SSP, the DARPA, the military industrial complex, all these planetary corporations with all these recruitments, full of, right, black magic, sodomy, they had food, sleep, water deprivation, satanic ritual abuses, then all this mind control, right, MK Ultra, Monarch, Montauk, and all these radio frequencies coming from 5G towers, right, and they have this crisp technology in military, the gene editing technology. They can pretty much insert whatever they want into your genes without informed consent, right? To me, to be a galactic commander or to be a military, you have to align it with God's divine law, God's divine will, right? And that's why the Ashtar is here, the Ashtar command, the Galactics, the high command. There is no other way. If you are in a military section, department, that it's just that you would disregard the universal laws, right? That's why we're implementing the Galactic Codex. The universal laws are back online, and we're doing all these corrections, and it's extremely painful because so many people out there, right, working whether for governments or working for military, that thought that they're doing their best, they're doing good, and look what happened to them and how they were damaged and how they were betrayed, right? So we are correcting all that, and of course it takes a lots of healing, lots of time for healing, but we have the med beds, we have the Takeon technology. That's why it's so important to contact with the with ETs, because they're pretty much ready or waiting, but for us, raising the frequency, vibration, and the consciousness, and please, stop being in the head and just going into our hearts. Extremely important, so we can deprogram ourselves, right, from all this conditioning, from this mind control. So those guys we're also hooked to the phantom matrix of that's the all these reversals, right, running the reversals and thought adjuster. So it means like with galactic commanders, you guys, your mind is free, right? You pretty much operate independently, but you're one with source, you're one with God, right? The force is within, like I already mentioned many times. And they also get all these chips and trackers, holographic inserts, especially for the super soldiers. That was done to me, right, closely to your aura energy field, because they put you on some kind of drugs. They expand that astral shield or field in you, and they put all kinds of inserts, or they put them on drugs or on alcohol, right? So and then they are inserting, so the blockages, they're harvesting the energy from those guys. Okay, they're nothing but batteries for the negative ones. So those are proxy soldiers for proxy wars, and the men in black, all these psyops, right, and these black operations, the black sun entities, the Nazism 4.0. That's what they were pushing here, right? This with the one world order since 1930s, actually, right? How they infiltrated also the Antarctica, and the Nazis got infiltrated by the Orion group, okay, and and this Anunnaki, right? And again, the history. That's why the Guardian material also for me was extremely important to put things together, right? The Phantom Matrix happened because the Stargate 12 was blown up back then, millions millions of years ago in Lyra, right, the crater of Lyra. That was the cradle of the civilization, right, the human civilization, and so on. So you had the 12D, right, then the 11D, there was the Anunnaki. Well, actually it was Elohim, you know, the creator gods, but because of the convolution of DNA, and then fighting with the Dracos, 10D, 10 dimension, and you know, then reaping holes, you know, the phantom matrix. I mean, Asha and I explained everything, how that operates, what it then how you know, what the phantom matrix is, and you know, the black hole and so on. And we are restoring the true structure here of this 15-dimensional universal time matrix. Okay, so you know, the planet Earth again, or Tara, Gaia, becomes the jewel again. We're positioned strategically here in this galaxy. We're like interconnecting other planets, other galaxies, other star systems, so making sure this is running smooth. That's why the Cabal, the negative ones, they wanted to take over this, because then they would have access to like every part of the universe, and you know, again, they're breaking the law. So that's why we are doing the New Earth jurisdiction. We have the cosmic trials, right, the galactic military tribunals, and as well. So everything has to be reconciled, and those guys need to see the consequences of their action, and you know, accept the Galactic Codex and help us with the restoration, with perestroika, right? Help us, you know, with cleansing, clearing, purification of the ocean, water, and the air and the soil, and you know, I know the galactic core has been corrected, the magnetosphere, you know, everything's been corrected, the sound, right? So the Holy Mother, Divine Mother is here. So anyway, so all these things, right, like I mentioned, yeah, watching porn, they're into porn and pedophilia. That's what they the skull, the bone and skull, right, that was all about pretty much desecration of the sexual energy, the divine feminine, right, the kundalini, right? So it was sodomy, right? Instead of raising your frequency, vibration, ascension, evolution, it was a desecration, retardation, degradation, just dumbing down and damage. What happened? Damage in DNA, bioneurology, mind was compartmentalized, aura fractured with all these toxins, parasites, viruses, and of course those guys on addiction, and you see them whether on the street, in hospitals, you know, what in the world is happening. But if you were to read the aura, the energy field, it's pretty bad, you know, it's you know, it is total abomination. So, and of course they have serious psychological, mental, and emotional dysfunction. So I talk about, you know, the Galactic Codex, implementation, the universal law, divine justice, right? The Galactics are here. They'll help us with the bioregenesis. They need bioregenesis and deprogramming, right? Huge, big deprogramming. And it's to happen very gently and very slowly, because the subconscious mind is a million times more powerful, and it stores the program, right? So being in the present moment, being in the now, being in a know, also extremely important. So talking about the ascension, the kundalini rising, I mean, those are the warriors of truth, you know, of divine justice. You know, the galactic star warriors were the guardians, were the Christos Templars, right? We know the rules, you know, the guidelines, and that's what I've been, you know, working on and creating. And you know, you can see some of it on my website, like maybe inspiration for you. At the same time, guys, I practice that each and every day. What I'm telling you, I practice that. I have to walk my talk, okay? And I can see, right, you're just building the momentum, you know, you're increasing the light quotient, you know, you are surrounding yourself, you know, with these energies, and it is like a living structure. And even people, right, doubting, or there's just not even understanding, believing, that's okay, right? That's okay. Like, we are doing the work, and you know, it is what it is, because we need to bring morals and ethics and virtues and spiritual discipline back online, because that's how America, right, with those 13 colonies, how she was founded upon those principles. And of course, ascended masters, right, the Great White Brotherhood, and La Conte Saint Germain. So Atlantis rising, right? Lemuria resurrection. We're resurrecting all these energies. The ancient Egypt, it's all being also resurrected. All these pyramids, right? These initiations, and aligning with God's divine will, God's divine law, God's divine love with the flow of life, the Ankh, what it represents, eternal life, the high priest, high priestesses, of the order of Melchizedek, and so on. And there was another order before the Atlantis fell, the cataclysm. It was, I think, Atlara order. So almost all of us, guys, we have memories from Atlantis, from these horrible cataclysmic events, how everything was blown up because of misuse, again, of highly advanced technology. And again, here we go again, right? These guys abusing the technology. And so we are talking about it, and we have to correct that. And I feel like my role is mostly like teaching, and while I'm teaching, I am healing, and I am just kind of setting the good vibes, and just bringing the awareness there to the public is extremely important, and do it in a way that is inspirational, that is healing, that is transformational. That's kind of my way of doing things. So I'll continue, guys. So here are the notes from the guy, Ricardo Delgado, and the talks about the nanotechnology, right? And how actually what is in those, right? He was talking about these injections, and science now can prove it, guys, right? Even here in this physical material plane, that is got nano routers, right? And they are registered with your phone, with your app. The nanotechnology is nano antennas for signals, for nano communication to some kind of remote server, okay? And of course, the material is graphene oxide, which is highly toxic, right? And it absorbs EMF radiation. So it means if you're close to 5G towers, or you're on a Wi-Fi, right now I'm on a plane mode. And where I am, that's why I have to go to my car and go to my friend's house, because I don't have a Wi-Fi, but it has to do with the room situation with my roommate and so on. But it's just protect yourself. That's why this cleansing, clearing, purification, the Shanghai, I have my also organite pyramid, okay, with a tourmaline, okay, for grounding, and for protection. And I have EMF harmonized on my phone. So guys, get just kind of the energy going, right? Make sure you got the pure chi prana, because look, all this contamination, right? It's unbelievable. The graphene oxide has affinity for central nervous system, spinal cord, heart, because that's why we had all these cases, right? Or children, adults, right? With the heart inflammation or palpitation, and the athletes now, right? When they're doing workout, or somebody, tennis player, right? Couldn't even finish her game. Because just people are getting exhausted. The body is not working the way it used to, so many people got poisoned. But these things now are transpiring, because these things been happening in the military, in the underground, in the bunkers, overworld civilizations, Mars and Moon, for quite some times, right? So these injections, the nanobots, the nanotechnology, this is nothing new under the sun. And so let me see. So the graphene oxide, right, is highly conductive, and these graphene oxide nanoparticles can actually pass through our brain barrier and get access to our neurological network. So they take over your thinking mechanism, right? your neurons, right? All the nano, you're full of nanobots, and that's what they do, this kind of training in the military, right? To make a robot out of you, or the transhumanism, and when you're becoming a super soldier or a marine and so on. And I know I am full of nanotechnology, okay? But again, the heart structure is so important, because the good ETs, benevolent ET, right? They know how to neutralize those effects. You're also able to get rid of those nanobots that they're not serving you well, right? And you can reboot, recharge your entire system, right? Whether it's also the food, the diet, fasting, drinking distilled water, zeolite, colloidal silver, right? Make sure you are good boosting your immune system, zinc, vitamin C, organic fruits and vegetables. Guys, this is the rhythm, okay? This is the protocol. This is why I'm teaching it, because I know what is happening to your body once you get this. And when you were in a military, how you're being trained, what is being done to your aura, your energy field, to your bioneurology, the graphene oxide, or the nanotechnology takes over your nervous system, because it targets the central nervous system and also your spinal cord. That's the peripheral nervous system, right? So that's why when I said these guys, they take this and then it forms the neural link, right? And that's how they hook you to the cloud, to the AI. Look at this guy. That's what he was saying, that that it breaks neuron synapses. The brain can be mapped, your memories, your local thoughts, emotions, feelings, sensations, right? So the computer reads you, the phone reads you, right? And then of course, are you connected to the organic AI through the heart structure, or inorganic, the Ascension AI? Then the cabal still got you. They control you. They people in depression and anxiety and being on medications, it's full of goo, and full of the nanobots as well, right? It's acidic. It again damages your body. But again, guys, this is not a medical advice, right? I have to be very careful, but I'm telling you what the Western medicine, the pharma, right? The military, the science, the technology, they all been hijacked. Everything's been hijacked, everything. But they cannot take over that divine spark that is within your heart, right? The secret chamber in your heart. There's this place that nobody can really even detect, because it comes from God. It's divine. You have the divine spark within you. That's how those angelic, divine, luminous beings were designed, right? With 12 strands of DNA, with a crystalline heart, with the plasma light body, okay? And so, but the story, the cataclysm, the mutation, right? The invasion, the master raider races, and all the cloning, right? All the cloning and, playing with the DNA and all these kind of things in a very brutal and unnatural way, because they were breaking the laws, right? Breaking the laws for centuries, for millennia, and this is not allowed anymore. So we are going back to the divine. And so the graphene is stimulated remotely and wirelessly by 5G. That's the microwave source, right? And the signals go to an external server, and it's controlled by AI. So this guy has it on papers, scientific studies. So everything that Lisa Renee has been talking about for years, we have a proof here. Right? In a field of neuroscience, AI, then of course here we're dealing with robotics, with DARPA, that was founded in 1958. This advanced research, technical superiority. Well, it's time to bring the spirit here, the spirit of America, the spirit of the Native Americans, right? The spirit of Christ back online, right? The inner Christ, the inner Christos, the inner spirit, the inner self, needs to start awakening, reawakening, right? And it's just expanding and expanding and expanding, guys. And that's, part of the ascension. It's part of the resurrection, right? I'm the life, I'm the resurrection. Like, we had the Easter, and then, I got my kind of thing going on. Around people, they didn't even tell me that somebody had viral infection, and so that's what happens when people are not informed, right? And life will never be the same. There is no turning back, guys. It is what it is. Sometimes we have to ask, or be informed, because those who got fully vaccinated, and all these boosters, you don't want to be much around that kind of energy. And plus, I wish I did brought my food, and I had to just stick to my diet. I cannot eat somebody else's food, so I am just learning the hard way, or it is what it is. It just taught me again lesson, patience, perseverance, just being in a good mood. Even a good mood, I missed, I guess, at least 3 days of work, okay? And it means a lot for me, because all I can really afford is just to pay my rent, and I'm lucky if I get my food, and I have just a couple of bills. I don't have much to pay, right, my expenses, but I live simply. And so I am talking to R-Star and the Pleiadians family. I mean, I would love to receive some kind of the support and security. I know I have to build a structure from within, but also, like, kind of move forward with this project, or just meet my soul family, my star family, galactic family, because it's in guys, that's in the newer jurisdiction, that's in the Galactic Codex, right? We have the right to meet our soul family, star family. And unfortunately, they were in the military, right? So we have the graphene enhanced acute irradiation syndrome. That's what people are dealing with now, because you're exposed to all this radiation, and they want to then create the the Avatar 2.0 and the transhumanism and the depopulation agenda. And so these guys got perfectly scientifically proven, all these research paper, right? I mean, all the science behind it. So nobody can hide anymore, guys. Nobody can hide. And everything is surfacing, everything is coming to the light, right? And we have to see everything for what it is. We have to acknowledge it, right? Acceptance is very important. I think Marina Jacobi talks about the acceptance. That's when you bring it into 0 point balance, right? And you can recharge yourself. You can start having new thoughts, and raise the frequency vibration in your platform, in your hologram, just with the frequency vibration and so on. So humble, right? Modest, right? Just simple, going back to basics, guys. Those who are returning back to nature, who are returning back to God, those who are choosing the ascension path, because the 3D world, the material world, the consumerism, and paying all these bills and insurance. And I know it's sometimes it's good to have some fun, or people going out to restaurants, but I'm just telling you, now we have to be very cautious and aware. I mean, those who are sensitives, right? Who are empaths and sensitives and so on, guys. The energy is changing. We have to take care of ourselves, and start building communities from within, right? Step by step, connecting to each other, talking to each other, having conversations. So my beloveds, let me go. I'm actually going to the beach, enjoying the sun, the sunshine, the ocean, and all these kind of good things. And I'll talk to you next time. Many blessings, and namaste. Bye bye.